understand wanting to be famous, and I understand building yourself, and I understand wanting to be a boxer as well, and being a professional. But at some point, someone has to be guiding this kid's career.
I think it's good because what happened there is other people who never watch boxing, or they don't know anything about boxing, they wanna watch Jake Paul because he's coming from he brings fans from other world.
Many boxers have a harsh opinion of Jake Paul, the YouTube star turned self-proclaimed boxer. While he's been making money from pay-per-view events and grabbing headlines for supposedly facing off against real fighters, actual boxers have been left shaking their heads. They're questioning where the respect for the sport has gone. We're talking about the seasoned professionals, the ones who've dedicated years in the ring, bleeding and sweating, just to reach the level they're at, like Mike Tyson.
Jake Paul been fighting YouTubers. Yeah, it's a joke.
Let's be honest. No one's impressed by Jake Paul's huge social media following or his knack for selling out events. At least, not when it comes to boxing. To these fighters, Paul is just a publicity stunt, someone trying to profit from a sport he barely understands. And they're not holding back in calling him out.
I don't know who else is on YouTube boxing, but Jake Paul's by far number one.
I guess Dashy's gonna fight Floyd Mayweather.
I don't pay attention to shit celebrities do. That's a waste of my damn time. My time is too valuable, and I like giving it to my fans.
Rolly Romero, a professional boxer, is known for his outspoken personality and bold reactions, especially when it comes to Jake Paul, the social media star turned boxer. The two have had several heated exchanges, with Romero frequently responding to Paul's boxing career and trash talk.
He's marketable, and he put in the work, man. He's gonna get an opportunity.
In interviews and on social media, Rolly Romero has been outspoken about Jake Paul, often dismissing him as a legitimate boxer and mocking his skills. Known for his brash attitude, Romero has criticized Paul's rise in boxing, questioning his credibility and ridiculing his choice of opponents. Jake Paul, in turn, has fired back with his own taunts, keeping the rivalry going in a constant back and forth. If you're referring to a specific event or post, let me know and I can provide more details.
I mean, it was great. I think it was great for Jake Paul because now we're having to sit here and have another conversation about it.
Kamaru Usman has made it clear that he's more excited about beating Jake Paul than facing Conor McGregor. Usman, who has dominated the UFC with his wrestling and striking, believes Paul's rise in boxing is more about publicity than actual skill. He isn't impressed with Paul's trash talk and sees it as a chance to silence him. For Usman, a fight with Jake Paul would be the perfect opportunity to show that social media stunts can't replace real fighting talent. While a fight with McGregor would offer its own excitement and legacy, Usman is more fired up about taking on the brash influencer-turned-boxer. To him, it's personal. He wants to prove to Paul that there's a reason real fighters are at the top, and that Paul's antics aren't fooling anyone.
I don't know how much confidence Jake Paul has in all this, but you know he's gonna be a lot quicker. And if he stay close to Mike, then his chance of winning gonna be great.
Evander Holyfield has some strong words of caution for Jake Paul. Don't fight Mike Tyson. In a recent interview, Holyfield, who fought Tyson twice and famously defeated him in 1996, advised Paul to avoid a match with the former heavyweight champion. Holyfield understands the danger Tyson still presents, even though Tyson is no longer in his prime. He stressed that Tyson's power and experience make him a serious threat, something Paul, who has only been boxing for a short time, likely doesn't fully understand.
Do you see Mike winning, or do you see Jake winning?
I don't know. It's all depending on how Jake fight. You know, I tell you what, if somebody gonna tell him it's too crazy to be trying to get close to the guy, he gonna stay like that. Mike like he get in and he curve up like this and snap out and get you.
Holyfield's comments come as a response to Jake Paul's recent talk about facing Mike Tyson. While Paul has built his career by taking on opponents with limited boxing experience, Holyfield believes Tyson represents a level Paul wouldn't want to challenge. As for Holyfield's view on Paul's fights, he has been openly critical of the YouTuber turned boxer, particularly after Paul's recent victories. I understand how stop it. Holyfield thinks Paul's continued success in the ring is more about timing and favorable matchups than actual boxing skill.
I think it's really not affecting the real fighters. People like me, I don't really get into it too much. I like Jake Paul. I think he been doing his thing. Truth be told, I really care so about the real boxing at the end of the day.
Shakur Stevenson recently shared his thoughts on the Jake Paul versus Anderson Silva fight, and let's just say he didn't hold back. Known for his sharp wit and quick punches in the ring, Stevenson found the whole spectacle laughable. He wasn't impressed with the outcome and seemed more amused by the idea that Jake Paul was somehow outclassing MMA legend Silva in a boxing ring. Stevenson definitely didn't buy into the hype around Paul's boxing skills and wasn't shy about calling out the absurdity of the fight, which had fans questioning just how legitimate Paul's boxing success really was. On a more serious note, Stevenson did give credit where it was due, showing respect for Le'Veon Bell after his knockout win over Adrian Peterson. Bell, the former NFL star, stepped into the boxing ring and impressed with a clean knockout, something Stevenson didn't hesitate to acknowledge.
Mike got 30-something years of experience. He's still got power. Even though he's 58, he's still fucking fast.
Aries Spears pointed out that while Mike Tyson is 58 years old, Jake Paul is young and confident.
Aries Spears highlighted that while Mike Tyson is 58 years old, Jake Paul is young and confident, but he believes that confidence is misplaced. Spears argued that being younger doesn't mean Paul can handle Tyson, who still possesses the raw power and fighting instincts that made him a legend. Despite Tyson's age, Spears feels Paul should avoid a fight with him, especially given the significant experience gap between the two. Deep down, he still feels that playing with Titan, while being a teenager, it was a long time ago.
And he's got young man strength.
Yes.
And he seems like he knows how to work the mitts based on, his time in.
Yeah.
But Mike is a different breed, man.
Yes, but it's not.
Spears believes that Paul's confidence comes from fighting opponents with limited experience, not true competition. He argues that Tyson's skill and strength, even at 58, would be too much for Paul to handle. Spears contends that Jake's bravado and desire to fight Tyson is misguided. It's not just about age, but the high level of skill Tyson still possesses. So he talks about...
Jake Paul is awesome. Jake Paul is a threat. I cannot fully dismiss the idea that he was a Disney character or that he knocked out an NBA player and he's calling out a YouTube star in KSI. While all of those things are true.
Chael Sonnen recently shared his thoughts on a potential fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson, and he didn't hold back. While Sonnen acknowledged that Jake Paul has made a name for himself in the boxing world, he argued that fighting Mike Tyson would be a huge mistake. Despite Tyson being 58 years old, Sonnen pointed out that his experience, power, and skill would still be far too much for someone like Paul to handle.
If you try to fight Mike Tyson in boxing ever in your life, you qualify as a badass. There's possibly not another standard.
Sonnen emphasized that Tyson's boxing IQ and ferocity in the ring are still intact, even if his physical condition isn't what it once was. He noted that Jake Paul's confidence comes from fighting opponents with little to no boxing experience. But stepping into the ring with someone like Tyson, who has fought at the highest levels, would be a different challenge. And Tyson's scores were always high when he was in South. Sonnen made it clear that Tyson's ability to inflict damage combined with his reputation, would make it a dangerous and unwise fight for Jake Paul, who might be underestimating just how much Tyson could still bring to the table. Yeah.
In 1 week, the story has changed. In 1 week, this was the Jake Paul falling back to his old habits of wanting to beat up a geriatric and get credit for it. And we let him know if you beat up said geriatric, not only do you not get credit, we're going to be mad at you because we all like Mike Tyson.
To real boxers, Jake Paul's entry into boxing is like someone walking into a symphony concert and trying to conduct with a kazoo. So, what do professional boxers really think of Jake Paul? In short, they're not impressed. The consensus is that Jake is more of a spectacle than a serious athlete. While Paul has gained fame by cashing in on boxing matches, most professionals see him as a gimmick, using the sport to make money and stay in the spotlight rather than mastering it. So they are frustrated by his lack of respect for the sport, especially since he jumped straight into big fights without paying his dues. Boxers who've spent years in the gym, grinding through amateur bouts, don't take kindly to someone who thinks they can simply waltz into the ring and challenge seasoned fighters. Legends like Floyd Mayweather have called him out, criticizing Jake for using boxing as a publicity stunt a fell inclined to observe. So they are saying, like Elite, it's not that Jake can't throw a punch. It's the way he's using the sport to build his brand without truly understanding what it takes to succeed in it. For these boxers, boxing is about years of sacrifice and dedication, not selling pay-per-views or making viral videos. Jake's rise to fame feels disrespectful to real fighters who've earned their place in the ring, and they're not shy about saying so. So what do you think? Is Jake Paul just a flashy outsider taking advantage of the boxing world, or is he actually proving that anyone can rise to the top with enough hustle and hype? Real boxers clearly aren't buying it, but maybe you've got a different perspective. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Does Jake deserve a shot at the big leagues, or is the sport better off without him?